Today, we're gonna be talking about the best ways to find real estate deals off market. So whether you're a real estate agent representing a buyer, or you're wholesaling property, or you're actually taking this down yourself as a rental or as a flip, these are the absolute best ways to buy deeply discounted real estate. So let's go ahead, hop right into it. Driving for dollars. This is one of my favorite ways to find off-market real estate deals, because I'm sure that you can think of at least a couple vacant, distressed houses that you probably see every day on your morning commute. So just think about the fact that there is somebody out there that is paying taxes on that property, paying insurance on that property, maybe even has a mortgage payment, and that is a perfect opportunity for you to swoop in and save the day. My favorite tool to use when driving for dollars is an app called DealMachine. So I would just drive down my favorite neighborhoods, look for properties that looked vacant or looked distressed. I just put a pin on them in the app, and then I could skip trace and call them right then and there, or send them a mailer straight from the app. So it just really simplifies the whole process of driving for dollars. You can also just use a notepad or even an Excel spreadsheet to take note of the addresses that you find while you're out driving for dollars. The only thing that's gonna make more complicated, of course, is the follow-up, because you're not gonna have that built-in skip tracing function or built-in mailer function. This is how I found my latest deal that we just finished. This was a triplex that I walked by almost every evening on my evening walks, and it was something I've been keeping my eye on for a while. I looked it up on DealMachine, skip traced him, got the guy's number, stayed in touch with him for a year or two, and I mean, he was a tired landlord, had some tenant issues, and so it was just a matter of time before he had the motivation to sell, and now I make $1,500 a month in cash flow on that property and have over $100,000 in equity. So driving for dollars is a great way to find awesome deals. Next, we have probate leads. This is one of my favorite lead sources because it's so easy to get the contact information for the owner of the property, which is usually the hardest part of the whole process. But for probate, you're actually able to go into your local courthouse. You can pull the actual legal documents that have the executor's name, address, and phone number, and you just call them right up and you get them every time. Always the right number. Don't have to worry about getting the wrong person. Now, something to think about is that if you're calling somebody who is the executor of an estate, there's a good chance that they just lost someone in their family, someone special to them. So you're gonna wanna treat it with sensitivity. I never am getting on the phone and saying, hey, I realize you just inherited a property. I just went through your court documents and I wanna buy your house. I go about it the same way that I do with any seller, which is, hey, I'm looking for the owner of 123 Main Street. Have you thought about selling, or would you consider an offer? These property owners are going to sell the majority of the time. So the fact that you actually have accurate contact information for them and there's a true motivation makes probate leads a good source of consistent deals. Tax foreclosures. Tax foreclosures are the most motivated seller that you're ever going to talk to. They just got their final notice. They have like 2 weeks to get their taxes paid. And if they don't, their house is gonna get foreclosed on and they're gonna walk away with zero. If you're being proactive and finding these leads early in the process, you have to remember that these people are procrastinators. If they were going to put off paying their taxes for this long, that now that they're facing foreclosure, there's a good chance that they're gonna put off selling the house until the very last minute. Make sure that you have a good relationship with the folks at your local title company, because in my experience, it's not uncommon to only have 7 days or less to get these kinds of deals closed. These leads are super easy to find. You should be able to get a list right from your local county courthouse website. Eviction. Evictions are also public cases that you're gonna be able to find at your local courthouse. So this means you can find the addresses, the name of the seller, and even their accurate contact information right on the documents at your courthouse. When you call a landlord and everything's going great, they're collecting rent checks at the beginning of every month, they're making money hand over fist, aren't having any issues, then they're probably not going to sell you that property. But when that tired landlord has been fighting with a tenant, the tenant's destroyed the house, they're not paying rent, and this landlord is in the middle of a court case dealing with eviction, and you call and you want to buy that property, there's a good chance that they're going to highly consider letting you take that problem property off their hands. For landlords that are mismanaging their rentals, it's only a matter of time before they have a bad experience. And these mom and pop landlords are likely to not want to go through that and might just sell you their property for a good discount. Pre-foreclosures. Another great way to find motivated sellers is with pre-foreclosure. So a pre-foreclosure is whenever someone has been more than 90 days behind on their payments. So they've missed 3 mortgage payments. Then there is a notice of default that's issued from their financial institution, an NOD, which then is a public record. So everybody can see that this person is 3 months behind on their mortgage. And so this information is really easy to find. These addresses are really easy to find. You can find them online or even on websites like Zillow. You can get their address, skip trace them, get their phone number, and see if they would consider selling. When I'm on the phone with a pre-foreclosure lead, I am never mentioning foreclosure. I'm just simply coming at it, hey, looking for the owner of this property address. Have you thought about selling or would you consider an offer? That's always what I'm going in at, because if you go in and say, hey, I heard that you're a few months behind on your mortgage, would you sell your house to me? That is a great way for people not only to put their guard up, but also probably hang up on you. Just because someone is 90 days behind on their payments doesn't necessarily mean that they have to sell. I mean, I've seen people that either lost their jobs, had medical issues, or even gone to jail for reasons why they couldn't make payments the last 3 months. And in those special cases, a lot of times the lender is willing to work with them so that they can keep the house. A couple other ways that you can find great deals is through other real estate agents, other investors that you have relationships with, wholesalers, foreclosures on the market, or even foreclosure auctions at your local courthouse. The reason that I lump all of these lead sources together at the bottom of my list is because of the competition. If you think about it, other agents, other investors, wholesalers have their hand in the pot. You're probably not getting as good of a deal as you would have if you would have found that property on your own with these off-market lead strategies that we've been talking about. Foreclosure, bank-owned REO properties are always gonna hit the MLS. So that means you're gonna have a ton of competition when those properties hit the market. Even at your local county courthouse steps where you're bidding on the properties that are being auctioned, there are going to be other investors there, so it's gonna be harder to get a deal. Something to remember with all of these lead sources is that if the property's distressed or if they're in one of these distressed situations, there's a good probability that there's some things going on in their personal life. So we need to remember that. We need to be empathetic, we need to be understanding, and really cultivate that relationship and come from a position of providing value by purchasing the house and solving their problem. The only lead source that I would actually bring up the issue at hand would be sometimes with tax foreclosures, because again, these people procrastinate so much that they really need to understand, like, hey, if you got 10 days before you got to sell this property, if you don't work with me on this, if we don't figure something out and 10 days go by, you're gonna lose the property and there's not gonna be anything I can do except for go try to buy it at the courthouse steps and you're not gonna get anything. So this is your chance to actually walk away with some equity. So again, I'm always coming from a position of what is the best solution for the seller. So that concludes today's video on the best ways to find off-market real estate deals. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and of course subscribe to the channel to follow us on your journey to Real Estate Millionaire. And we got another video over here that I know that you're gonna love. So check that out and we'll see you on the next one. See ya. Guess I'm just stuck here, huh? Well, you might as well click on the next video then. Why are you looking at me still? Get out of here.